Have you ever had a really terrible neighbor? We just moved into our house maybe like 2 months ago. First house ever. I can walk around with my pants off if I want to. It's amazing. It's kind of weird because I feel like a kid still, so I don't know if I'm the best person to be so responsible as to have a house, but I do, and it's amazing, and I have my own studio so I can do art and stuff. But we just lived in an apartment on the second story, and it was so friggin' horrible because we had this one neighbor. So, when we first moved in there, Piper was about a year old and was walking and running awkwardly enough. She was walking and everything. She had audible footfalls that you could hear. BJ and I, BJ is my husband. His name is really Beetlejuice, but we just call him BJ because we kind of get into problems when we say that a lot. Oh, I already said it once. Sorry, love. BJ and I walk like ninjas. I mean, we're like soft. You don't hear anything when we walk. But we were in this place for a few months before we started hearing banging. It was after any time my daughter would try and walk anywhere, you would hear this woman downstairs chasing her. I would assume it was a broom. My daughter made her way out of the living room into our master bedroom. You'd hear the thunking going behind her. So my husband went down to talk to her and saying, "I'm so sorry, you're hearing our daughter walk around." And she's like, "I would know if I was a toddler. You're stomping around, you're making weird sounds all the time." And it's like, we're really quiet. And in fact, BJ's not even there at night, and this woman was saying it was his fault. It was BJ walking around. And it was so weird because he worked at night shift back then, so he would leave anywhere in between like 2 through 4 p.m. and come back maybe 2 a.m. to 5 p.m. I mean, sometimes it was like over 12 hours that he'd be gone. At any rate, he was not there. And this woman was very insistent that that sound she was hearing was my husband. And then when my husband's like, "I wasn't here at night," she's like, "I know. How can you say that it's my husband and yet you know he's not here at night? And then it happens at night and that's the sound that you're complaining about. You're totally contradicting yourself." That lady. Anyway, so time went on, and not this last Mother's Day, because that was like right when we moved. The other Mother's Day before that. It was an awful day, and BJ had to work, and I was not happy. It was a very Mother's Day. 3 p.m. rolls around, and my daughter's walking around following, I think she was following my husband who had just gotten out of the shower, and she likes to mimic and follow around. That's just what she does. And so it began again, the lady downstairs banging constantly. But this time it was like she banged and then started like doing like jujitsu or some like practicing her bow staff skills or something, and then screaming. I don't know what was going down. It just sounded like she started like convulsing on the ceiling. It was really disturbing because it was only my little daughter going do, 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 do. And that's it. She just walked. That's it. So my husband's like, "Okay, now that I riled her up, see you later. I'm out of here." And somewhere around 8 o'clock, Piper starts walking from the kitchen to the living room, and then back from the living room to the kitchen. And she's just walking. Again, the woman began like flipping out on the ceiling. I don't know what she was using, but she's going crazy. And I hear insane like pterodactyl screeching, like I don't know what it was, and she was like screaming and exploding, and I hear a door slam, and then I hear the front exterior door slam, something like a Godzilla coming up my staircase, and she threw herself into my door and started screaming every single profanity in the entire world. It was really, 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 really frightening. I was doing that thing really like, and I don't remember how to use my phone, so I'm like trying to call the police, and I'm like starting up like Angry Birds and stuff. I just can't operate it, and I was also extremely pregnant, so I'm like, I can't breathe, like a little bit of pee came out. It was not good. And I could make out some of what she was saying. Like I would hear the B word, and mother, lots of bad words. And then something about how I'm not going to be able to live here anymore. I'm going to get you kicked out and set you on fire sort of thing. It was very scary. So I called and this is stupid, I called the non-emergency police number because I'm scared of dialing 911. I'm like, what do you do? I don't know. I've had a couple times where I've needed to call the police and I'm too scared to call the police. Something about it's really intimidating. Do not do that. Just call the police. Don't worry about it being false. If you're terrified, I mean, you know, it's one thing if your McDonald's hamburger is not cooked well enough, you don't call the cops. It's a given. So while on the phone, she stomped around. I think she went down and she came back to like get something, or I don't really remember what had happened there. She was like quiet for a little bit. And then when I was on the phone, she started flipping out again. I mean, she came back and was like trying to break down the door, like busting her shoulder in it and kicking it. And so when that happened, the woman on the phone was like, is that her? Is that what I'm hearing? Do not open your door. Lock your doors. Like, I'm transferring you over to the 911 emergency department right now. This is an emergency, you know, and then it's probably recorded somewhere. Like, they probably have a copy of this woman screaming. And the police came out. It was, it was so awkward because we had to have supervised talk. Like, he went down and talked to her, and there was 2 women down there. They looked the same. There's like the one with the gray hair who's the mom, and then like the 30-something-year-old pudgy one with the dark hair, and they look kind of like the same woman, just different stages of their life. The young one was the one that was freaking out, and she was terrifying. And anytime I had seen her, I'd be like, hi, and she'd... Yeah, those are some death glares that I used to get. And it was so awkward because before she had called the cops on us on a couple occasions and the police had come and they were so apologetic. I mean, they're like, I'm so sorry. It's just your kid walking around. You're like not doing anything. Oh, you like that video game? That's cool. Because I think the first one who came, we were just on the couch like quietly playing video games. And except Piper was like playing with a building block toy or something in the corner. And they're like, there's nothing happening in here. What is she talking about? They're screaming and stuff. Like, it was really ridiculous. They reported us for screaming and fighting and stomping and loud music, but there's nothing even on. Like, you could not even hear our television if you walked 20 feet into the kitchen. You could not even tell it was on. It's not like like explosions and stuff. That wasn't happening. So anyway, the 2 times the cops got called on us, they were like, I'm so sorry, this woman is crazy. Just, I don't know. Just go about your business. That's fine. So yeah, it was so weird. Ever since all that had started happening, I've been so anxious. Like, when I take a step, I'm scared. When I would put shampoo down and, when I moved into my new house, I didn't realize how weird I was acting, how abnormal I was, because I'd go to put something down and like, ooh, my stomach's turning. Like, I feel like I'm gonna have a Tyrannosaurus on me any second. Big old T-Rex just chomping on my balls that don't exist. Like, it was so awful. I'm so glad that I'm out of there. And now I have a studio. It's amazing. I can walk. I can eat food. I can take a shower when I want and not be terrified. So you get that weird sensation when you're in the middle of the night having to go to the bathroom that they're all down there staring at their ceiling listening to it. Be like, that going to the bathroom. Look at her. Look at her up there through the ceiling with my x-ray vision. What a... Have you guys had any crazy neighbors like that? It's too much to handle. And I'm a little nervous now because I've not gone outside and done the hello neighbor, so I don't actually know who lives around us. I don't think there's even anybody on one side of us. The funny thing with Arizona is that there's a lot of Canadians. At least there's uneventful neighbors. I mean, I see our neighbor across the street every once in a while, and he just polishes his truck a lot, sweeps the driveway. And other than that, I don't really see anyone or hear anything. And I feel really bad because I think I might be a bad neighbor because, we don't have our subwoofer on. The cats chewed through the cord or somebody messed it up. But our lights are always on, so I feel like a beacon in the entire darkness of our neighborhood. It's just beaming out. And it's just really stupid because I can tell who's up. But if you look at our neighborhood, it looks like everyone goes to bed at 7 or 8 p.m. So I don't know. They're called snowbirds. And it's kind of a derogatory term here. But whenever winter hits, Canadians and people from Minnesota or wherever it's cold and snowy, they just move back to their second home here. So that's probably why half the houses are empty out here. Nobody wants to live where it's 125 in the summer. Unless they're crazy. Shut up. Tell me if you've had any creepy neighbors like that. I'm actually kind of interested to hear, because it's just... If you like my videos, feel free to subscribe. I'm not going to boss you around. You don't have to do, you can do what you want. I don't care. But it would make me really happy. It's nice to have fake friends. I'm just kidding. It's just I haven't met you. That's all. I'm sure you're a nice person. If you also liked my video, do the thingy with the thumbs in the corner somewhere. Down there or there. I don't know. Do whatever. Put your thumb wherever you feel like it needs to go. Maybe I'll show you some of my artwork next time. I don't know. Till next time!